National Nutrition Natural Health Reviews. 3 minutes of the latest naturopathic info with Canada's leading nutrition experts. Watch, learn, and get healthy naturally.
Hi there, I'm Naturopathic Dr. Jonathan Beatty, a health expert here at nationalnutrition.ca. Today we're going to talk about a very large topic known as intestinal health. And so what I'm going to try and do is break it down into just some of the key tips you can use to ensure that you have adequate intestinal health. About 80% of people that present at a doctor's office will typically have some level of intestinal problem or intestinal distress. It could be anything from, reflux or heartburn, all the way down to diarrhea or constipation. And all of these symptoms can actually be related to just poor intestinal health. Now, there are a few key components to intestinal health. One of the things you're always going to want to make sure of with your intestine is lack of inflammation. So if there's any foods that when you eat they bother or upset your stomach, it's probably a good idea to stop eating those foods. I know this seems overly simplistic, and if you're listening to me, you're probably like, well, of course, that's common sense. But the number of times when I talk to patients about their intestinal distress and I say, hey, what sets it off? And they will list me the same foods, and then I look at their diary and they're continuing to eat them. So one of the biggest things you need to do is stop ingesting the foods if you feel like they may be causing you harm. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a forever thing, but it might just require a temporary avoidance of those foods to allow your body the time to heal so that you can then tolerate them in the future. Now, other important aspects to your intestinal health is the intestinal bacteria. You have more bacteria living on and in your system than you do have cells in your whole body. And these bacteria help to regulate the immune system, they help to regulate digestion. They're very, very, very important for our human health. And so this is why it's really important that our intestine stays healthy, because that's going to help support and nurture these bacterial colonies that support us. Take vitamin K, for instance. If you ask somebody where vitamin K comes from, they'll tell you, well, leafy green vegetables. They're only partly correct. The vitamin K does come from leafy greens, but only after those leafy greens are fermented properly by your gut bacteria to activate the vitamin K, making it bioavailable for you. So this is why it's so important that we have adequate intestinal health so that we can actually digest our food properly, extract the nutrients and activate the nutrients in a way that's useful to us. And this is why intestinal health is so important. If you don't have proper intestinal health, you're not able to properly digest all the nutritious food that you're eating, and that's going to lead to the development of nutrient deficiencies. And when you have a nutrient deficiency, that's going to lead to a disease state developing in the body and some level of health concern. And so it's very cliche, but as a naturopath, one of the things I almost always start with in all of my patients is ensuring their intestinal health so that it can increase the effectiveness of any type of supplement or medication that they may take. A lot of the times I find that when you heal somebody's gut, they often end up almost over-medicated. And the reason behind that is that they're actually able to digest and absorb their medications more effectively, thus making the medication more work harder or work stronger. And sometimes they have to work with their doctor to reduce their medication dosage because it's actually becoming more effective now that they can absorb it more effectively. And so this is why intestinal health is so important, because it's the gateway for any type of treatment to get into your system. And so that's why I always preach intestinal health with my patients, and it really starts with our diet. The biggest thing you want to do, make sure you're intaking enough vegetables and fruits. This is where you're going to get all the fibers needed to adequately help heal and manage your gut health. You're going to get all the nutrients you need to support those bacterial colonies to ensure that you've got a healthy flora living in your gut. And this is going to translate to a healthy, functioning gut and overall health. So I hope you've learned a few key tips about maintaining a healthy intestine. If you like this video, please check out more on our channel, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and always remember, knowledge is health.